Hello, I'm Arthur Blankenship, co-founder and president of Argen Billing Systems. Argen is a 25-year-old company specializing in utility conservation services and utility submetering programs. We are here today to provide you an overview of utility submetering systems. Submetering is the installation of electric, gas, or water submeters in individual tenant spaces, and using these submeters is a basis for a tenant build-back program and also as a basis for a utility conservation program. Argen supplies the utility submeters and the installation services for both retrofit and construction applications, and supplies the tenant build-back program and utility conservation program for management. Utility submetering occurs behind one or a group of master utility meters of the primary utility supplier. Electric and gas primary suppliers may also provide individual tenant meters. Primary water suppliers typically do not provide individual tenant meters. For electric and gas applications, using a primary submeter concept almost always ends up with a reduced landlord-tenant rate structure. And typically, the use of electric, gas, and water submeters has a lower cost structure than using the primary supplied electric, gas, or water meter. The type of submetering system used depends upon the number and type of utilities involved, the site plan, and the building structures. The submeter is installed at the point where the service enters the unit or at the point where individual service lines are configured, such as in a common hallway. There are numerous types of water submetering systems on the market today. To demonstrate one of the older type of systems, this is a direct read visual meter. This is used, for instance, in the ground outside of a townhome structure. In this scenario, the meter reader actually walks up, visually reads that register, and punches that number into a handheld data collector. In another scenario, the meter would be installed inside the tenant unit, and the meter has a pulse switch that fires an electronic signal to an outside wall-mounted odometer. The meter reader actually walks up, reads that odometer reading, and punches that into a handheld unit. Another method for water submetering is where we have an electronic encoded register head. The meter is installed inside the tenant space and is hardwired up to 500 feet away to a touchpad on the outside of the structure. The meter reader walks up, scans his touchpad, and automatically collects the data. The power source for this system comes from the handheld collector of the meter reader, and there is no power inside the register itself. In more recent years, we have seen the introduction of wireless radio technology into meter reading systems. In this scenario, a radio transmitter is actually built into the register head of the meter. There are other types of systems that have the transmitter hardwired separately from the meter itself. In this scenario, the power source is a long-life lithium battery that's built into the transmitter. In what is commonly called a drive-around system, the meter reader drives around the site with a radio collector that automatically collects the meter reads. Another type of wireless radio technology in use today is commonly referred to as a fixed network. A fixed network does not require the use of an on-site meter reader to collect the reads. Instead, the read data is transmitted through signal repeaters to a base station that is located on site. Argen automatically downloads the meter read files from the base station remotely. The power source for the signal repeater can either be a 120 volt power supply or a solar panel. The power source for the base station is a 120 volt power supply. The base station also requires a dedicated phone line for the download of the meter reads. For electric utility submetering, industry standard 240 volt single-phase meters are typically used for residential applications. These meters can be read in a variety of fashion. This is an example of a direct read visual meter where the meter reader actually walks up to the meter, visually takes the read off the dial, and punches that into a handheld data collector. Another method to read electric meters is to outfit this unit with a radio transmitter receiver and read the meter in the same fashion that water meters are read. A third method of reading electric meters is called power line carrier, where the meter read signal is transmitted over the electric supply line to an off-site data collection point. Due to regulator control vending, gas submeters have more limited uses and points of service, particularly in mid and high-rise applications. For this reason, runtime systems are utilized instead of a submeter itself. A runtime measures the amount of time a thermostat calls for a unit to operate and is installed on the low voltage side of controls. Argen Billing Systems is a 25-year-old company specializing in utility conservation and utility submetering services. There's a lot more information available on our programs. For further information, please contact us at clientservices@argeninc.com or call us at 770-760-1500. We greatly appreciate the time you spent with us today and hope you have a great day.